Whoa! 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 Check out this dude! Whoa! Why does he have, like, lazy eyes? Hey Internet, it's Jessica, and welcome to England Exchange! So this is a new dating sim that I found while browsing on Steam, and I was particularly interested in this because you could play either male or female, and you can have, like, straight or gay or anything kind of romance, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. There's not many dating sims that include, you know, gay options, so I appreciate that. So the premise of this game is we're part of this, like, exchange student program abroad in England, and essentially, yes, we're trying to, like, build our life and build our career and stuff like that, but at the same time, hey, we're gonna get some romances in this. So it can end up into, like, hey, you might meet your future spouse and stuff like that. And also I heard there's some, like, things happening here. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to censor later, but we'll find out anyway. Alright, let's get started. Ooh, okay, so these are our choices. We can either be this dude or this pretty lady. I'm gonna be this pretty lady because I think she's really cool. So let me just change her name to my name. Let's make it completely awkward. Okay, let's do that. Select character. Okay. Okay, Jinso. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to make a lot of voices for this. There's no voice acting in this game. Tomorrow you're leaving for England. Let's have a moment of silence for a fallen comrade. Fallen comrade? Jessica's going across the ocean, not dying. That's what you think. Cheers! We clicked our glasses together. Of course, Jinso was the only one old enough to drink. Is it Nene or Nene? I don't know. Nene and I couldn't even walk into the most bars with how strict the ID checks have gotten. So we're in New York. We're from New York, as it said in the ID. At least in casual dining, the waiters generally only card the person who ordered the drink. Jinso pounded his chest as his fireball lemonade went down. Ugh! You'll be able to drink once you're over there too. You should try it. He winked at me. Maybe? I have tasted one or two things in my life, but since I'm not supposed to be drinking at all, I've definitely never been drunk. I don't know if I'm getting smashed at bars is the kind of adventure I want. So what adventure do you want? I swirled my non-alcoholic, non-fiery lemonade around in my glass. To be honest, I hadn't thought about it that much. In the rush to pack and get all my documents in order after New Year's, I had been only to ignore what all the preparation was for. I made the decision to travel abroad to England for a semester on impulse, the spur of the moment. It sounded like fun, that was all. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I felt like I barely knew who I was, to be honest. The idea to take a semester abroad wasn't a new one. It was the almost cliche tactic for broadening one's horizons. But I really did want to discover myself. Even more than that, I wanted to change myself. I knew that sometimes I could be far too shy. I had never had a serious romantic relationship, never been kissed beyond the tiny little peck. Well, I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. How old are we? We're like, what did it say? 20 or something like that? 19? You're still young, you know? You're not like, you don't need to, people always act like you need to, like, kiss someone before you're an adult. Like, no, it doesn't really matter. Some people have it later, people have it earlier. It's not a big deal, you know? I always say, do it when you feel comfortable. I couldn't approach strangers, even just to ask for directions. And when it came to pressure, I don't know, caved. That's so like you. You're spending half the year of your life on this trip. Shouldn't you have a goal in mind? Not everyone has a goal. They could just go in with flow. And end up like you? No, she's better than that. The two glared at each other, their year-long rivalry coming to a boil. Guys, please. Oh, speaking of goals, when are you gonna get yourself a boyfriend? I hate it when people say that, like, leave the other person alone. Also, what makes you think that she wants a boyfriend, huh? What if she wants a girlfriend, or just nobody in general? Oh, here we go again. I don't need one. I have my whole life to figure it out. I don't have time to be wasting on some dumb boy. Or girl. Right, or girl. Whichever. I don't need someone else to make my life complete. But it would be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe, if the right person comes along. Until then, I've got other things to do. No, you can't just wait. You've got to go out there and find him. You don't even give the guys in front of you a chance. Or girls. Yeah, why is the other friend discounting that this lady is bisexual? At least bisexual. Come on now. Or girls. Well, I don't have to explain myself to you. I turned my head as Nene fumed. Don't you do that to me? Whoa, it's her last day in the States. And I want her to live to reach the airport. I just can't wait to watch her eat her words. She sat back in her chair and Jinso grinned at me. It's the perfect time to experiment anyway. You're there for a whole semester, and then you're gone. So, you know, if it turns out you don't like girls, you'll never have to see her again. No lingering awkwardness. I know you're going to look for an adventure, but other people are the best adventure you'll ever get. So why not? What's in the worst that can happen? What was worse than that could happen? Getting arrested and banned from entering England ever again? Probably, but even then, at least it would be a clean break. No matter how the big New York City was, you always seem to run into exactly who you least wanted to see. But in England? Not to mention they have some really nice accents. Maybe, okay, how's that? I'll give you a maybe. Nene and Jinso high-fived, and I wonder how long they'd be planning this attack. Be sure to tell me everything about him. Or her. Or her. I don't like the Nene person. Can I just say that? Don't like her. You need new friends. What is that? Far too soon. The night ended. I rode the subway back to the Bronx and went home. The last time I would be home for near half a year. Waking up at 6 was tomorrow. 8 hours of flying was tomorrow. England was tomorrow. And maybe even a new me was tomorrow. What the heck have I gotten myself into? Sighing, I tried to distance myself from my thoughts. England, huh? Let's hope something changes. Oh, okay. January 4th, 5th! Okay. I got off the airplane immediately feeling disoriented. I was in another country, but to be honest, it didn't look much different from the US. It was a little less crowded than JFK, but the architecture at Heathrow Airport was a lot like home. The only real difference was the accents. I had expected everyone to sound like the BBC announcers, but there was such a mix from Scottish custom agents to the newspaper seller who I think was Jamaican or something. It really brought home for how much England was a part of Europe. People came here from everywhere. Whatever, I made my way through customs out into London air. It was cloudy, as I suppose I could expect from now on, and January winds were chilly. Yes, I've heard from many of my UK followers and friends that, yes, it rains a lot in England. Or in the UK in general, so... There was no snow in the streets. I had been warned that it almost never snowed in London. Unlike at New York City, it did look damp though, and gray, very gray. I waited by the cab stop for the driver to be free. He threw my suitcase into his trunk and we went off. On the wrong side of the road. To distract myself from my sense of impending doom, I envisioned the hostel I would be staying at. I would be doing work, study, travel kind of program. The hostel provided my room and partially board, as well as the part-time job from which they kept the share of the pay. It was all connected to a local university through some sort of deal, so I could take classes there. The program wasn't free, but because of the work portion, it actually came out cheaper than a semester of normal classes back in New York City would be. As long as I didn't flunk out and get sent home, my parents would be happy. It was cramped, quiet ride through the streets. It didn't take long until we were surrounded by tall, older-looking buildings made of stone. Different styles of architecture mingled with another. Highly modernized buildings next to the grandiose structures that looked like they had housed nobility in their better days. Hordes of Londoners, with grim expressions, pushed their way through the streets. I had heard the British were more polite and well-mannered than us, less likely to show their emotions, more intelligent, better in every way basically, but London just looks like a slightly prettier New York. America, as I knew it, mostly came from the English only a few hundred years ago. Surely the cultural difference wasn't that big of a deal. They wouldn't think of me as just some dumb American, would they? Before I could ponder too much, the cab came to a sudden halt. So this is the hostel, huh? Looks like the one. It's called the one. Great. The cab driver got out and grabbed my bags, but not before pointing to a machine on the back of the seat in front of me to run my card through. Swiped 1. Approval denied. What? Maybe the card doesn't work here? Trying to quell my rising panic, I grabbed another card and ran it through. Card read error. You gotta be kidding me! I don't think I have any other cards. The cabbie was standing outside the hostel with my bags, tapping a foot impatiently. I crawled out of the car and dug through my carry-on. Trembling, I held out four $20 bills, American bills. What? I can't accept foreign currency! I don't know what kind of voice that was. Sorry! I'm sorry, but my cards aren't working. Did you not tell your bank you were going out of the country? Is that something you have to do? Oh, this poor naive girl. You stupid Americans, you... Whoa, calm down there. Whoa, 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 check out this dude. Whoa, why does he have, like, lazy eyes? Is that just me? A man with dark brown hair and a kind face appeared in front of me, having just come from the hostel entrance. What seems to be the problem here? He glanced at the money in my hands and nodded. Hand me your dollars, I'll cover your fare. Fine, as long as someone pays. I don't care who. The cabbie showed him the card machine, and he bent down to pay. Thank you. Through my terror, I began to stutter, but the man just waved his hand. Don't worry about it. You aren't the first person this has happened to. I'm not? Thank goodness. Well, most people are smarter than to take a cab they can't pay for, but you know. That's an insult, thanks. He finished paying and the cabbie jumped his car, slammed the door, and revved off down the street. I'm Danny, by the way. You must be one of our new arrivals. Yes, I'm Jessica. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet him, indeed. I'll grab your bags. Why don't you come in? I can show you around. Thanks! The outside of the one hostel seemed almost promising. It was a medium-sized 2-floor building, and the small yard leading up to the front door was fairly well maintained. Danny hoisted my suitcase and pushed through the front door of my new home. I followed him behind. Cool. Welcome home. The front room was a small kind of entryway, with 2 doors leading on out either side of me and the staircase leading out of sight. The walls were not as clean as I would have liked. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Ew, look at that. What the hell is going on in here? A small desk sat next to the doorway, where Danny quickly set up my suitcase and reached for some paperwork. Let's see, Jessica, here you are. Looks like you've been assigned to work as a maid. All the rest of your board and lodging seem to be sorted. Well, I'll give you a quick run through of the house rules, shall we? There will be 7 of us at the moment, well, who boards here regularly, and a couple of extra rooms for overnights or short-term lets, but they're not often used. So, with you here, there will be 8 of us in total, provided James hasn't hidden someone in the attic like the old novel. He laughed, but I stared at him confused. What novel does that really happen in England? Ha ha ha! I don't know, like, I feel so awkward about this. If I were her, I would end up laughing because I don't know what to say, but I'm gonna be like, what novel? Which old novel are you talking about? What? That one, you know, the one, the governess and the Jane Eyre? Probably, sorry, literature was never my specialty subject. Anyways, we have a kitchen and a cafeteria. There's a commune of food in the fridge, and sometimes people make meals that others can share and we eat together. I don't think anyone announces it though, so you've got to come in time. Just aim for whatever Ashley is not working on. She loves to cook for us. The living room is shared place. We all work together to keep things neat and tidy as well, so clean up after yourself. Don't leave stuff laying about. Quiet time after 10 o'clock also. Most of us are students, and we need our sleep to keep up with classes. To be honest, I don't really know what all the others are here for. There's some girl who I've seen in the hall sometimes. I haven't even officially met her, but I've never seen her at uni. Don't know what she's doing. Is she like some random person in the house? Anyways, Peggy and I especially need quiet after hours, no loud music and all that. Not that I guess you'll be staying up too late, considering what your work schedule will be like. You'll be able to set most things for yourself, however, what classes you take, what you want to do in your spare time, extra work shifts to pick up, who you befriend, you get to do whatever you want. Be careful too, that means you can't blame anyone else if things go the way you want them to. It's starting to sound like a parent lecturing their child on the first day of college, and I bit my tongue. Before I could continue, a rather scruffy man came in through from the front door behind me. Coffee stain, at least. I hope there were coffee stains dotted on his shirt, and I swear there was a breadcrumb in the corner of his mouth. He looked from me to Danny, nodded, and started climbing the stairs up. That's James. He doesn't look like he's having too much to do with us, to be honest. So give him space. Try not to get him on his bad side. I nodded. So, what is there to do for fun around here? Anything in particular I should see or do? He put his hand to his chin. Well, what would you like to do? What would you want to get out of this trip here? You can study hard and get ahead, or you can go out partying every night and get trash. We'll remember, but unless you just add us on social media, no one back home will know. We won't be able to tag you in pictures. That's a weird comment to say. By the way, if you don't add us on Facebook, I won't add pictures and make sure your family knows back home. Like, what? Good thing I stayed away, far from that sort of thing. I guess you could check out the stereotypical landmark, the monument, the eye, and Big Ben and all that, but I recommend you just wander around the city. With a day travel card, you can go wherever you like. London's crammed full of sights. Most tourists miss because they're too busy trying to make the Queen's Guard laugh. Oh, I have a football, soccer to you, team here, and I run with the school. You can come to our tryouts and see if you like that sort of thing to do. Soccer tryouts? I mean, I never really did sports much at home. They weren't much my style, but maybe now was a good time to change that. It would definitely mean I get to be more time hanging out with Danny. I don't know if I like Danny though. Is that just me? He seems kind of like, to me so far. I don't know. We gotta meet all the other characters who we get to romance, so Suddenly there was a distant, dull thudding noise. Then the door to my right flew open. Oh, here comes Angelo. Okay, Angelo, here we go. A short, sullen young man entered the room and stood there staring at me. Who are you? This is your new partner, Jessica. You'll be working together, remember? Oh, you. Angelo is one of our maids. I'm not a maid, I'm a housekeeper. Look, it's not normal for me to be doing this kind of work. It's a misunderstanding, capiche? They thought my name was Angela, not Angelo. So they assigned me as if I were a woman. That's kind of sexist though. You're assuming that every woman needs to be like a housekeeper or something? What the hell? Surely assignments were random? England wasn't medieval. There was no reason why a woman should work in the housekeeping. Yeah, exactly! Was this kid really old enough to be employed in this kind of program? He looks like he might be in high school and seems to think like a high school boy too. Well, it's nice to meet you. I held out my hand for him to shake and he looked at it as if it were dirty. Finally, he touched my hand, but only for a moment, to let go without giving it a shake. Here's hoping we get along, right? He glared at me and continued to the next room. I don't like that kid either. So far, I don't like anyone we can romance yet. Damn it. Don't mind Angelo, he's got a bit of a temper, and maybe a bit of a bleeding heart, but he's a good guy deep down. What is he, a tsundere? And try not to take his, views too personally. He's had a strange upbringing. I think being here will be good for him. Isn't he a little young to be around here? Young? No, he's 19. 19? Seriously? I was surprised too. He has a baby face. Don't mention to him that you thought he was young, though. He'll get offended. He likes to be manly, that one. Anyways, you probably want to see your room now, don't you? All the rooms are upstairs. That door Angelo just went through is the kitchen and the dining room area. He just came out of the living room area. Things aren't always the nicest here, as I am certain you can guess, seeing how you've already met James, the hostel owner. That guy was the hostel owner? Seriously? Wait, then who are you? Me. Did I not properly introduce myself? I'm Danny, biology student and overall bang-up guy. He jammed his thumb into the air in an over-enthusiasm expression of joy? I stared at him blankly and he shrugged it off. I'm just someone who lives here right now. I think my room's across the hall from yours, actually. We headed up to the rickety-creaky staircase into the long, narrow hallway. Doors lined the halls on either side, and I could already hear some obnoxiously loud foreign music thumping through the walls. I couldn't quite make out the words, but I thought they might be French. Danny didn't notice my confused look. That's Mark. You'll be able to meet him eventually. He's cute. Cute? Did he mean like cute, like aw, what a sweet guy, or cute like sarcastic cute, like he's actually annoying? Or was Danny gay? Hey, you know, that don't assume someone's sexuality. What are you doing? One of those things was something I needed to know. Not that I was likely to make a move on Danny. I was too, well, pathetic for that, even in England. It would be nice to know what my options were, though. Anyways, your room's the one on the right here. You get the key and such, who's are shared. One to every 2 rooms. That's a toilet to you, and there's a shower room at the end of the hall that we all share. That's not too bad though, because we never run out of hot water, and you can lock the door so people don't rush in on you. Just make sure you knock before entering. Some people here don't mind leaving the doors unlocked. Thanks. He put a golden key into my hand and motioned to the bedroom. Well, why did you do the honors? I nodded and unlocked the door. Then, heart thumping, I pushed it open. Okay, not a bad room. I don't know why someone scribbled all this crap on the thing, though, on the door, but whatever. My room was small and a bit dingy. The paint was peeling and the carpet was faded, and somebody had taken permanent marker to the wardrobe doors. But despite that, it managed to look colorful and somewhat inviting. Still a little musty, too. I wanted to ask what the last time someone had cleaned was, but I figured that was exactly why Angelo and I were assigned as maids. Housekeepers. The balcony view, though, probably made this place count as a luxury digs for London. I'm sure you're pretty tired, and you just want to unpack, so let me do that for you now. If you need me, I'm usually in the room, or wandering around the hostel, or I'm not here at all. So if you can't find me, I'm probably gone. You can just ask someone else in that case. Everyone's pretty friendly, mostly. A dark look crosses on his face, but he shook his head. Anyway, I gotta go back to revisiting the life of a scholar, right? Talk to you later. He saluted at me and closed the door. I was alone in my slightly chilly room, staring at the suitcase at my feet, all alone in a foreign country. A wave of panic rose in my chest, and I stared at the suitcase, willing it to go away. Deep breaths. You knew this would happen at first. Just take one step at a time. First things first, unpack. Things always feel better when you've unpacked, because you'll feel like you are at home. At least I remember reading that somewhere. With that in mind, I unzipped my suitcase and began to organize my meager wardrobe. What is this? I held up an extremely expensive pair of, shall we say, undergarments. How did this get in here? Who did this? Because it wasn't sure it was me who brought Jinso and Nene, it had to be. Somehow they conspired to distract me and sneak something into my luggage. This is what they thought I needed when going away as a going away present? Wait, that's weird. Why would you? That's so weird. I'm sorry. Like, I understand, like, oh, they want her to have a relationship, but giving her, like, sexy lingerie is so awkward. Unless you're asking for it, but obviously our character did not ask for it. That's so weird. What kind of friends do you have, girl? I held it up to my nose and sniffed. At least it was new. And it was made out of some kind of silky... Oh, the door flies open. Who's this? Can we date her? I turned to see a diminutive girl with a bright red hair, her foot out as if she had just kicked the door clean off the hinges. She looked at me, and then when I was holding my hands, I threw it to the side of me, feeling my face turn red. I didn't... What are you doing in my room? Your room? This is my room. Your room, but... She leaned out the hallway, confused look on her face. Oh, bollocks! Sorry, totally my fault. I picked the wrong door, 2 down from the end, he said, and I picked the wrong door and bit after me. Wouldn't you say? Okay, so she has an English accent, doesn't she? See, I can't do any other kind of English accent. I can only do the proper and good one, so... I don't know if I think she has a London accent. I think that's what they're kind of going for with the dialogue, so I'll try. I'm Peggy, and I'm starting as a new student this term. Isn't that ace? I'm finally going to meet a university. Even after I had to wait for the later enrollment cycle, a good riddance too. It was absolutely bonkers being stuck in my old farm. That's not a London accent, I don't know what I'm doing. There was this one girl, Charse, who would go out pulling every night, and this other girl thought Prince Philip should be ruling instead of queen, because women are inferior to men. I mean, can you believe that? And I had to live with this girl for so long? That's why I chose to come here instead of the student digs. I just couldn't do all of that again in uni. And I couldn't afford to get a flat by myself because I spent all of my money on Christmas trip to Spain. Oh, I'm not a crazy spender, you know. I planned for months to have the trip and didn't spend a penny more than I budgeted. Just now, I'm skint. Got to live in the moment, that's what I say. Eat, drink, and be merry. Anyway, I'd better get out of your hair, right? You're clearly very... Her eyes slide over to where I throw the silken underwear. Busy? I'm not really not... Well, have a good night then. I kind of like her. She slammed the door shut, and I had the feeling the breath I had been sucked out of my lungs. How could this person talk so much? At least she seemed friendly enough. She was definitely from some part of England, judging by her accent and colorful language. Well, it seemed that was that. By the time I finished unpacking, it was early evening. Despite the relatively early hour, I was exhausted from all the travels and stress. I didn't bother to shower. I just put on my pajamas and crawled into bed. I could do a rest later. Okay guys, I'm gonna end this episode of England Exchange. So that was kind of the premise of the game so far. We haven't met all of the dateable characters, but I heard there was like 3 same-sex characters that you can date and 4 straight relationships. So I'm hoping that girl that we just met, Peggy, I like her a lot. Can we date her? Also the game page, if you want to look at the game page and see who we can date, because they have character bios and pictures like that. So you guys can see who we can date, and we'll see who I decide to date and all that. But anyway, if you guys want me to continue this Let's Play, please let me know in the comments too, just so I can finish it up. And if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you know when I upload the next episode of England Exchange. And hopefully I'll decide who to date in this game. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Whoa. Oh! Wow! She actually punched a loop! Like a lot of them don't get any credit they deserve, so today I'll be talking about 5 awesome video game sidekicks. Number 5. Dexter. Jak and Daxter series. Dexter, the